man set the tone in a relationship, or should a man set a tone in the relationship?
I think it has to be. I think it's up to the man to be honest, especially if he's not, if he's doing multiple things. I don't want to say doing, but if he's got more than one thing going on, then it's up to the man to set the tone and say, hey, we're exclusive. You're my girlfriend. I'm your boyfriend, and that's what we are, and that's what I expect. If you're not in that space, to say one thing or the other, then that's a communication breakdown. So, I like to think that a man should set the tone. I'm not saying they have to,
but they should.
They should, because I hate to say it, women are a bit more emotional than men, So, and
I think we okay. I don't think we're more emotional than men. I think we share our emotions more.
But I guess
than men.
I guess by that I mean it's.
I think
women fall in love easier. Is that fair to say?
No, I don't agree with that either.
Okay. Well.
I think it really boils down to, I guess, the individual too, because that's such a common misconception where like the woman is the more nurturing, like the feminine thing is that the woman falls in love easier and faster, and that she's the one who tries to hook, line, and sinker the man.
Well, see, that's not what I'm getting at. See.
Oh well,
I'm talking about, okay, so we're talking about the male setting the tone for a relationship. It's like if I'm pursuing a woman and I'm literally doing whatever it takes to get to a woman, right?
Okay.
And I finally get her. Does she believe instantly that we're in a relationship, or does she need to know that I'm only here for this or that? And see, to me, that's why I think a man should set the tone. I shouldn't be pursuing you with false hopes that you're going to be the only one.
You said it like you hit the nail on the head, like that false hope thing, because I think a lot of women get stuck in that. Like they think that they are the exclusive one.
And I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Also, since we're talking about it, do women automatically think they're the one?
I think women.
Can't play the video.
Sorry, guys. We want to make sure everybody on Facebook is able to see the video as well. I think we just lost.
We're still on.
Oh, we're still on. Okay. I think that women. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
I think the women think they're automatically that they are the one. When in being pursued, when you finally give a guy your number and he calls you and y'all go out on a date, are you immediately the one? Like
immediately, no. But I think after like a certain amount of dates, a certain amount of time spent, you catch feelings. Right. And then you assume that that is what it is.
And that's why.
But it should be like it should. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to be 100. When I was younger, like I'm that old, but earlier in my like young adult life, I would literally tell a guy like, listen, I don't want a relationship right now. We can be friends, but I don't want a relationship. So we can hang out, date, whatever, but I'm not trying to settle down because I was very career driven. So like the guy knew up front what was going on. And it's like when I started like dating other guys, like he kind of felt some type of way about that.
Yeah.
So it's like it goes both ways.
Because men are sensitive.
Well.
Men are sensitive. Especially when it comes to women. Like no. Because I don't know why. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but men be sensitive.
It's my thing is like it's not anything wrong with it, with being like sensitive. It's just like the dominating effect of it. Like it seems like the man wants to like control the relationship at times, and sometimes some women are left out trying to figure out, well, am I the main chick? Am I the side chick? Like Explain that to me.
Well, see, and that's why I say it should be established, and this is why I'm putting the onus on men to take responsibility for setting that tone. If you don't set the tone, you can't be mad when she slashes your tires. If I told you, if I like, if we were dating, and I told you, you know, I'm talking to other girls, or we have an open relationship, or what, and if you know that, and something comes about, you can't be upset. I mean, if you accept the terms and conditions of the relationship,
okay,
you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I think that's what it is. And then that, I'm gonna say this so I can flip it back and make sure that we're not too crazy on the female side.
Okay.
If we get married, there's some terms and conditions that come with that.
Absolutely, and I think those terms and conditions should be honored and respected.
I mean, literally, they're vows.
Yeah,
in front of God that you vow to do stuff. So I don't understand getting married and then cheating. I don't get it. But I'm saying that because if you're ready to get married and you're ready to be with somebody, you should be willing to honor those vows, like straight up. If not, then don't get married. I think it's important for people our age or a little bit younger, or a little bit older, who are thinking about getting married. If you're not ready to do all the things that come with marriage,
don't do it.
Don't do it. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you got a baby. None of that stuff matters. It's like I would rather not be in a marriage and be happy than to be in a marriage and be miserable.
Say that one more time.
Let me rewind it, say it a little clearer.
Little slow.
A little slower for the people in the back. I would rather not be married and be happy than to be married and be miserable. Because I wanted to get married just because Auntie so-and-so said it was time, or my mama wants a baby and I got to have a baby right now, so I got to get married to have a baby.
And we fall into that trap.
Or I known you for 30 years and we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do it. No, Jagged Edge, stop it. Stop it.
I think that's the trap that we fall into. Like the people on the outside of the relationship put so much pressure on the two people in the relationship to, hey, you have a baby, like get married or do all this stuff. And it's just like, but on the flip side of that, the people in the marriage, some of them think that that's what you're supposed to do, as far as culture, religion, society sometimes.
So I have an innate problem with outside influence on anything. I think at the end of the day, myself, I'm the only one that looks myself in the mirror. So whatever decision I come up with, whatever decision I make, I have to live with. It's not for anybody else to live with. Yeah. It's not for anybody else to deal with. She has to do the same thing. And then us together, as we become one, we have to make our decision and we have to live with it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And advice is always warranted. Even you listening to this video is just advice. I can't tell you what to do. I can just tell you what my advice is,
Are your tips.
The pearl tips. You know what I mean? So outside influences some people stay in relationships because of outside influences.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I said you have to look at yourself in the mirror. So even if me and her are having situations, we have to deal with that internally. And then I have to be able to say, I'm going to compromise, or I'm going to be better, or I'm going to do better, or I'm going to find out what's going on and we're going to fix it together. And she has to do the same. Because if I completely disagree and I'm just angry, I'm mad, and she's, and she's willing to come to the table and I'm not, then it's on me. It's even if she's done me wrong, if she's come out and said, this is what it is and this is what it isn't, and this is what we signed up for, I apologize. I can only be mad for so long. I mean, unless I need to leave. It's like either you're going to work on it or you're going to leave. Don't be upset. Don't be trapped in something because you feel like, oh, I got to stick with this person. It's like
your happiness, your mental health, and your physical health is worth so much more than trying to be in an unhealthy relationship. Especially when people are telling you, do you have to stay? You have to stay. You have to stay. Because that's just more pressure that they don't have to deal with. They're not in your home. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, happiness is key for me. I can't For me, like for me in a relationship, I think, and we've spoke about this before. If you're not happy, you don't feel like that you're going to stay in the relationship. For me, if I feel like I'm not loved in a relationship, for me, there's no need to be in the relationship. So that's kind of like the ground rules. But like as a therapist, like, I was a therapist for many years and a social worker.
She's dope.
So it's like, you see these type of relationships, these unhealthy relationships where people stay so many times.
And I think for men, and I don't want to overstep my boundaries as far as what women think, but I think men have a lot of control in a relationship as far as where it can go. As far as like whether we're going upward or downhill, a man can say, okay, enough's enough. This is what we're doing. Come up with a plan. Men have to have a plan. Do
men have plans?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Men have plans, like, and that's kind of where we struggle with. Cal, thank you for tuning in. Cal says our role is to at all costs avoid chaos.
Yes.
Which is to say that order must be maintained. By the way, not sure if you're aware, but the comment section is limited to 100 characters. Oh, characters? Man. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, keep typing.
Cal has something else to say. Cal has something to say.
I apologize.
I'm going to agree with Cal 100% though, to avoid chaos. Because, again, that kingship. If it's my kingdom, I don't want any problems. We're trying to be a smooth operation. And order must be maintained. It's like this. If me and my wife had a kid and my kid sees that I can talk to my wife any kind of way and she just got to deal with it, guess what he gonna think he can do?
Yep.
And vice versa. And so now I'm showing respect to my wife in front of my neighbor, in front of my workplace associates. They know you can't talk to my wife any kind of way because I don't talk to her any kind of way. So you
bet not this one. not this
Trini gal.
No, not this Trini gal at all.
No, I think Cal's right. Setting a standard, being a standard bearer. That's for men to do.
What do you say to the men out there that they didn't have like another positive male figure to look at? Like how, if they don't know how or what standard is, what would you say to those guys?
It's tough. That's tough because you only know what you know. You only know what you've been exposed to, and that's why I'm kind of putting a challenge to every man out there that can see this video. Be the example, because you don't know, you have no idea how many people you reach out to, even in your walk of life. A while ago, we used to talk about how our marriage, our marriage is a ministry in itself. Like, we're not trying to be anything, but
because we're not perfect.
We're testifying everywhere we go. When you see us, you're seeing a married couple. I'm not gonna say what a marriage is supposed to look like. You're seeing a married couple, and if you've never been married before, and you know me or you know Danielle, and you've heard all these things about marriage and how it's terrible, ball and chain this, and I can't go out that, and all this stuff, and then you see a marriage like ours, and it's like, wait, I thought it was supposed to be like this, or I thought it was supposed to be like that. So now you're exposing yourself to these other things.
Right.
I think the couples that are in our lives are great examples.
Yeah, grateful for them.
And I think at the end of the day, every man does see somebody that
is a positive
role model. I don't want to say that they know them personally, but you can see things and how certain couples react to one another, and how men carry themselves at church or even at work, or people. There's always a guy at work that's just a clean guy, like he does his job and he goes home, like no smoke, no. And if that's a positive role model to you, that's all it is. As far as relationships go, though, that's kind of tough, because if you don't have an example, you're repeating a cycle. I would then challenge women and men to find themselves first, see what they like, and not settle for
repeating that cycle.
I mean, you know a bad role model when you see one.
Well, not all the time.
Okay.
There are some people that I've literally had to work with to help them see that some of the behaviors and some of the life experiences that they've had are unhealthy. So
That's
it's
true.
like you're teaching them how to unlearn unhealthy habits. So I always like go to, if you see something that you're constantly doing, any type of behavior, and you're getting a negative reaction to it, whether it is you're losing your job, you're losing a relationship, you're always in drama, always some issue,
Mhm.
you know, if you go to like 3 people and they all leave and the common denominator is you, maybe it's you.
It could be
Maybe
you.
it's not
Could be you.
the other people that you've been around. So I think we need to stop being afraid to really look at ourselves and
Yes.
self-examine ourselves.
Yes. Like I said, you're the only one you see in the mirror, so you have to live with your decisions. And it's okay to not feel okay sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, therapy is amazing. Because it's easy, it's hard to talk to people that you know and love and tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, because you're gonna have to see them again and it's gonna feel kind of awkward. You got to tell them things, and it gets dark and people worry about you. Then you got unnecessary worry and all this other stuff. I think therapy gives you an opportunity, not that the therapist is gonna be a stranger for long, but to be able to open up to somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight. Like they're not trying to slay you because you did such a long time ago. They're not trying to hurt you or make you feel bad by what you did to your cousin. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They're not there for in any kind of family tie. They're there to help you process these things and get through them and move forward.
And the thing is, like, when you're trying to find a therapist, interview them. A lot of times, like, people ask me, well, how do I know which therapist works for me?
Mhm.
Ask them questions as well. You know, this is someone who you're going to explore some deep, dark things that it might be uncomfortable for you. So ask your therapist questions. Ask them, you know, what are your specialties? How long you've been practicing? What is your, like, are you culturally competent? Are you aware of what's going on in the world and what's going on with me as an African American person, or as a Black person in general? You know, ask, and it's okay to ask.
I think it's important to ask, honestly, because it's like, for the longest of time, you didn't think having a male therapist would work at all.
I really didn't, and it really opened up my eyes, because I shied away from having a male therapist for so long, and then we got one, and it's been great. It gave me a different perspective, a male's perspective that I never really tapped into. So that's why I'm really glad that you're my partner in crime, you know, because it's just giving me another male's perspective.
Yeah, I try.
I wrote some questions down this time, guys.
So guys, I challenged her this time to write some questions down. While she's going over her notes real quick, I just want to say real quick, we did have a little technical issue, because I know it's on my wife's mind right now. She's trying to ignore it. That's why she keeps looking at her phone. She keeps clicking on the screen everywhere.
It's okay. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to make sure
YouTube started a little late, but people that are on Facebook, y'all got to see the whole thing. It's about a 7-minute delay, and that's okay. That's okay. We got people that are on the live on both, so shout out to y'all. Shout out to my family. We're on vacation, a little mini vacation. I'm not gonna tell you where we're at. My mom and dad know where we're at, and that's all that matters.
I have a question.
And Echo Graphics. Okay.
So my question to you is, and I know that we talked about this on the ride over, why do some men cheat?
Okay. This is why I think men cheat. Okay. I think men cheat because oh, you just hit me? Okay. I think men cheat because we are the most egotistical people on the planet. I think
tell me more.
Oh God.
Women, listen up.
There we go. No, seriously, I think so I can only speak for myself. I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up, you know, as far as like, I wasn't a jock. I was kind of nerdy. Actually, I was very nerdy. I was a computer guy. I knew a lot of the popular kids in school and all that. and I was kind of in the middle of the pack. Like I didn't have the nerdy girls weren't after me, and the cheerleader girls weren't after me neither. I was somewhere in the middle. It's all kind of weird, but I think once I found out that a girl was interested in me, it kind of made me feel like, okay, my ego went through the roof. Through the roof. And then I found out another girl like me. Oh, now 2 girls like me. Oh, okay, I'm kind of cute. Oh, 3 girls like me. What? I don't ever want to that. And then I think, unfortunately, what happens too, and just to take a little solace from the men's side, I think it's kind of hard to let go of a girl that likes you because you don't ever think you'll get that back. Like a girl that likes you, like, oh man, that's dope. So I'm not saying it's okay to have multiple girls like that unless you set that tone, which I encourage you to do, so you won't have to worry about somebody questioning your motives. But oh, she got a question.
No, good. I'm gonna let you finish because I'm gonna let that digest.
Because it's hard. I don't want to say it's crazy hard, but once you start getting girls that like you, multiple girls like you, and girls think you're cute, and girls are giving you their number versus you having to find out a whole scheme and plot and to get a girl's number. And even when you do, you find, oh, that scheme worked. I'm gonna try it again. And maybe I got this number, I got that number, I got this number. And now I got girls that actually like me, and it's like, yo, I don't know which one to pick, and I don't want to let either one of them go because I might not never get another one.
Why do married men? Why do some married men cheat?
Be specific.
Let's go there.
I'm gonna say, I don't know the exact answer because I think if you got married and serious about the marriage, unless there was like a rough patch or something where you guys thought you were going to get divorced, I don't see why a married man should cheat. And that's just my limited scope.
Okay. Flip side of that. So for me, I've heard from clients that, some men cheat because they don't feel respected in the home. They don't feel loved in the home. And it's interesting because men receive love a little bit different than women. So it's like, or some men, not all men, I don't want to categorize everyone, but some men kind of feel love differently in the home. But I think a big thing with men is respect. So if a man doesn't feel respected in the home, and he finds, or another woman is stroking his ego or giving him that respect that he wants in the home, it's easier for him to fall suspect to cheating.
I think if I can say anything about married man cheats, I will note this for a fact. This is a magnet. I don't know what happened when I put this on.
I have a theory
but
about
every
that.
Girl that I used to think was cute or was back in high school or whatever, they just come out of nowhere to come find me, and all of a sudden, hey, what have you been up to lately? We should hang out and get lunch. Blah, 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 blah,
I have a theory. I have a theory about that. I think that
Tell me I'm lying.
The thought is for some women, the thought is stability. The thought is a married man is stability, which is crazy to me because you'd rather be a side chick than a wife. But
so along those lines, I think if there was a reason, because it's not justified at all, if there was a reason for a married man to cheat, it would be because somebody out there is giving him attention that he's not getting at home. And I say attention. I won't even say it's intercourse or anything. Like literally, it's the attention. It's like, hey boo, what you up to? Blah, blah, blah. Like the same way women like to get called randomly throughout the day, or
and compliments.
Yes, man. I mean,
oh, that haircut looks nice. That tie looks nice.
Yeah, we like that. We like that, man. It's as masculine as we want to be. We like being told, yeah, the haircut look fresh. You know what I'm saying? Beard game on. We like that. I can't, and I think women my wife likes that too. Every now and then I just want to call her beautiful just because I know she is. But yeah, look at her. Look at her. Rough and tough with her afro puff. I like it. But it's important in a relationship. Okay, throw a little roll out there for men to make sure your wife feels loved. Not just tell her that she's loved, but that she feels loved. The random flower thing works, guys. Okay. The random gift for no reason because it's Tuesday gift, it works. All right. It works like a charm.
And for couples who have like children, the greatest thing you can do for your spouse or your significant other is to allow them their personal time and personal space. So like take the kids out, spend time with them so that your spouse or your significant other can just have that time to do things that they enjoy, to get to know, recharge their own battery as well, because it's very draining. When you do have children in the mix, it's extremely draining. And I mean, I understand that single men, there are single men out there as well, but there's something innate about a woman having a child that I've heard from clients as well, being in the field, that a lot of women have come to me and said, like, you know, I don't feel that my spouse appreciates me and appreciates the job that I'm doing in the home, because this is not for children. Okay, so this video is not for children. So if you're watching children, please take out the video. So
earmuffs.
If you want your love life, your sex life to be great, the greatest thing you can do for your wife is clean the house, make sure the kids are settled, make sure they're, you know, because the woman is going to think about it all the time in her brain.
Even during sex, she's going to think about the fact that the house is not clean.
She's going to think about it. Like, oh man, I have this project to do. I have to do this. I have to make sure our kid gets to the dentist or an appointment. You know, there's all these different nuances.
I think we got a like on YouTube for that part right there.
You know, so it's really important to take care of your spouse or significant other, so that they can kind of de-stress as well. It's not just one person job to take care of the household.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, women, because of our nurturing nature,
if I can see how it feels.
It's heavy.
At the same time, I can see how that could be reciprocated in a man's role, saying, I'm providing, I'm protecting, I'm doing all this. Can't you pick up this phone bill? Like, please, like, I don't want to, like, why do I have to come and break down all the numbers all the time? I have to do this all, but I don't think we think about it during sex. That's just me. But, you know, I
think if we can share the roles more and cross roles, because a lot of times different generations of men are like, I don't want to do housework. That's for women. But if you want a happy wife,
hey man,
you know, if you want your love life to be better, you can assist in these things so that your wife doesn't have to worry about it.
I think a while ago we did what we want to call that thing where all our couples were doing at Milan's house?
Like Bible study?
Yeah, the Bible study we were doing. But it was about relationships. The reason I'm bringing this up is because at the time, we were the young couple in the room. And
the youngest.
I think we still do this today. I like being sweet on my wife. Like, I just like being sweet on my wife because I think it's reciprocated. Yeah, for real. Like, I like being sweet because she knows that she's loved and she's willing to give it back if I'm giving it to her. I think it's real easy to start to resent each other if the kitchen stays dirty, the kitchen stays dirty. But if she knows I love her, it's like, man, we in this together. Neither one of us want to clean that kitchen, man. But then it's not just her burden. You know what I'm saying? It's not just something I'm waiting for her to do. So I don't know. I like being sweet on my wife just because I think it's fun. And again, I'm setting an example for other people. I think and
like even in that, like for me, I'm very private. So it's like you want to protect your marriage, but at the same time you want to like show other couples that it's okay to be in love, you know?
I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question. And these are for the people that do cheat, men and women. Okay. Aren't you supposed to just be in love? Like, isn't love the goal? Like, I'm supposed to be in gaga goo goo love and rainbows and butterflies. That's what the goal was, right? Like, I don't get the idea of it being a soft thing or a non-masculine thing to love your girl. Like, I love my wife. Get over it. Like,
I think you touched on a really good point there, that it's not a masculine thing
to
show affection and to show love. Like we just told me this. Like a strong man doesn't have to.
The strongest man in the room doesn't have to show his strength. The strongest man in the room does not have to show his strength.
Say that one more time.
The strongest man in the room. The strongest man in the room does not have to show his strength. We bought a microphone, y'all.
Yeah, and I think that's important to realize too. And for women as well. I saw this post, and if I'm quoting correctly, it said, actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up so I can give you guys the exact information on it, because I thought it was so deep, because we as women get caught up so much in being superwoman. It says, sis, breathe. There's no award for overworked female of the year.
Ooh, you ain't share that with me.
No, I didn't.
She saved that one for the show, guys.
Sis, breathe. There is no award for overworked female this year.
Oh man.
Like, and it's hard because we want to be the best at everything, and particularly Black women. It's so
y'all
hard.
are amazing though.
Like, but we get tired of being amazing.
I'm not saying,
like,
but y'all are amazing.
We
though.
get tired of being amazing, because it's like we take care of our Black men, we take care of our kids, we take, and we take on so much, it gets exhausting.
So man, I'm gonna say this as a role: make sure your wife is recharged. Because since we're talking about Black men and Black women, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Make sure your Black woman is recharged, because they do a lot of things that you don't even see.
Protesting, protesting, making sure the kids are good, making sure you're good as a spouse, making sure school,
and
everything's in line.
They worry so much. My wife, during this COVID thing, I haven't stopped working. I've been going to work every day. My wife worries for me daily. Like, I see it on her face when I come home. It's like, God, thank God you're home. Yeah. And with what's going on in the country, it's like, God, thank God you're home. Like, and she works from home, and could you imagine just being at home wondering where your spouse is all day and knowing how crazy this world is, and you can't even do nothing? Make me cry. I'm sorry. Brothers and sisters that are out there that you worry about all day, and these are man, she's my hero. So, that got me all emotional too. Don't be crying on camera, man. You're not supposed to be crying, but anyway, my brother's in the building. What's up, love?
But I think it's like, sorry, y'all. I had a moment. It's really important to take care of your spouse and your significant other. Yeah. Because like, if you have chosen this person for a reason, and it's just like, remind yourself why you chose this person. Talk to them. And like, I think we don't ask enough questions as far as like, hey, what do you need today? We ask each other. Yeah. We read this book and we asked each other, how is your love tank? On a scale from 1 to 10, how is your love tank?
And answer honestly. I mean, and even if y'all don't get, what was that, the 5 love languages?
Yeah, it was.
I think you guys can get the concept of it. Like, what is your love tank? Like, how much love do you feel from me?
From your spouse, not this one.
Yeah, no. Hey, Logan, how's your love tank, Logan? I'm not playing. But no, if you can ask your spouse in a general, how much love do you feel coming from me? Or your girlfriend or boyfriend. I'll even say that. How much love do you feel coming from me? And answer it honestly. If I feel like a 5, maybe that's something we need to work on. Like, right. We need to talk about it. Like, why do you feel I don't love you? What's going on? And how can I love you? Yeah.
Music said it great. Teach me how to love. Mm-hmm. Like, teach me how to love you.
And every person's different too.
Absolutely.
So I do recommend the 5 love languages if y'all haven't checked that out. Yeah. It's a great book. It kind of gives you a guideline for your personal self to figure out what it is, how you receive love and how you give love. And I think it's really dope to do with your significant other, because you guys can kind of see together where you might be giving love that's not actually being appreciated in your mind, but it's just not a way that they communicate in that love space. Like, just as an example, physical touch is one of the love languages.
Mm-hmm.
But if your significant other is not a touchy feely type person, and you're trying to give that love to them because like that's what you grew up with is somebody
Right.
hugging and touching you, that was a thing, like and that's just not their cup of tea. You're trying to love them, and now you feel like your love is not enough, and they feel like they're not getting
Right.
any love at all,
and you feel unloved because
Yes.
you're showing love, but it's not being reciprocated in the way that you receive it.
Exactly. So I want to mention something for my wife to know on live. She wrote down questions this time.
Oh, sorry, I
And
asked them.
we're about 40 minutes in. I think we maybe got 2 or 3 questions in. So, but it's all good. We could just talk it out. I was just messing with you because I love you.
But like I really think you brought up a really good point, because when we're not receiving love in our love language, we feel unloved.
Yes.
And it's just like, it's so unfortunate because you don't know the other person's love language, and you don't know like your own really and truly.
Like some people just like receiving gifts.
Yep.
And that doesn't have to
them,
be
that's
love.
love.
It doesn't have to be like a Rolex watch or a Louis Vuitton purse. It needs to be like a note. It needs to be a random text message just saying, "Hey, I love you," or flowers, guys, chocolates,
a purse,
send stuff at work. Some people like to get embarrassed. I like to send my wife stuff at work just because, like, I want her to be like, "Oh my God, why is he doing this to me?" So embarrassing. But she feels loved. It's like nobody else got flowers today at work. Ha!
So silly.
Poo on
God,
you guys.
It's so silly.
I am.
Forgive him, y'all. He's just silly.
Don't forgive me. I'm me.
But it's really important to also have to love yourself
first.
Reflect and figure out, what do you need to love yourself? And how can you feel that love? Because you can tell someone how to love you, but it's like if you don't receive that love for yourself, you won't be able to really
digest it.
It'll just be like surfacey. And I
that's
think
what you don't want.
That's wow. Relationships today are surfacey. And
I mean, I say that some.
You're right.
We're in a relationship right now.
Some relationships are very surfacey, and we're either too scared or unaware or uneducated on how to get deeper, like underneath the surface.
I think it's
how does that translate to a man?
I was going to say I think communication, again, we harp on this all the time, but I really do believe it. Communication is absolutely paramount in any relationship, because if I can't tell you I don't like receiving gifts, if I can't tell you I don't like surprise parties, and you keep throwing me a party, and you're showing me you love me by throwing me this party and it's great and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yo, I just don't. You don't even listen to me. Like that's what it becomes. And now
the resentment starts building.
And you throwing me this live party, and I'm trying to celebrate in front of the family and friends so that you don't feel awkward.
Right.
And it's just communicate.
It's so important. And be willing to receive the communication, receive direction.
Hey man, we said it before on the last one. I just want to make sure that y'all didn't miss it. Listen to hear. Was it here? No. Hear to listen. No. You can't help but hear me.
Listen, not to respond.
Here to listen, not to respond. You can't help but hear me when I'm talking. You guys hear me right now, but if you're not listening, you're missing it. So
because you're waiting on and that's something that I personally had to learn for myself, because he would be speaking to me. I'd be like real quick to be like, yo, what you say to the, and be ready to respond.
Tongue lashing.
And it's like, I had to learn, and I'm still learning that now, to like really listen and hear, which is crazy because my profession is to listen. And it's like, I'm able to do that all day, like
as a professional.
But once I take off that professional hat and I come home, I'm like, man, you listen.
I'll tell y'all something real fast that happened as we were leaving the house for this trip. This is what I was hearing to listen, not to respond. My wife was like, I should have brought some of my oils.
My essential oils.
Her essential oils.
I live on that.
And she was like, it's not that important. And in my mind, I heard, dang, we left the house and I didn't grab my oils. I wish I had grabbed them. That's what I heard. So I turned the car around to go get him. But that's, to me, it's that level of communication. Like, I know what you're trying to say without, I don't want to ruin the trip. I want to get on the road. But you're saying,
oh man. And we as like women especially are so guilty of this.
Say what you want.
We hold it right here.
Say what you want.
We hold it right here. And then guess
want?
what? That builds anxiety. That builds high blood pressure. That builds stress.
And I'm going to tell you this. Men aren't trying to not give you what you want. We just don't know that you want it.
Women?
We don't. How are we supposed to? We're not trying to not give you what you want. We just don't know that you want it. And if you were to tell me what you want, tell me what you. That's right. I went there. I'm sorry, but no. On a serious note, if you were to tell the guy what you want, and that means if you want an hour to yourself a day, if you want to go dancing with your friends, if you want to
shop or sit outside,
I tell you what,
whatever.
I'm gonna tell you something for finances real quick as a relationship thing. If my wife tells me she wants to go shopping and she could say, I need X amount of dollars to go shopping, she can go shopping. Then we don't have to figure out a bill. She don't have to feel guilty about doing it. She don't have to. You want to go shopping? Let me know. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. But now you're not in this limbo of wondering, what can I do? I don't want to ruin this bill. He already has a plan. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to bother him because where am I going to get the money
from? And blah, blah.
But I think if we communicate and if we set up a plan, then we can get what we want.
Yeah, and you got to ask for it.
Yeah, and you got to be willing to compromise too, because some things that we ask for is probably like so lavish that the other person, we're expecting that the other person can give it. So this is something that I teach my super chicks. I taught my super chicks that I did years back, and I was like 10% versus 100%. So in a relationship, a person, you're giving a person 100% of you, 100% of your time, 100% of your heart, 100% of your hard work, everything you're pouring into this person, but this person's only giving you back 10%, and some people can only give 10%. They're giving 10% of their time. They're halfway responding back to text. Maybe they don't call you back that day, all those things. And it's just like, so now you're mad and you're angry because this person's only giving you 10%. Now you jump onto another person, you find another person, they're giving you 50%. So you're like, oh my gosh, that's like 40% more than the person that just was giving me 10%, but you're still pouring in 100%. So you're still like, that person's not matching you.
Hold on. I got a question about that, ladies.
I wasn't finished.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I get a fucking nerve because, and men too, and women, they all giving 10% in the relationships. Y'all know y'all giving 10%. Y'all not responding to people. Y'all not doing this. And then the person that was getting 10%, do they now feel so much more appreciated by the 50% that they're willing to let go of any further expectation? I done did 5 times better than what I was doing before. And I'm going to settle on this because.
That's a huge thing. To settle a lot.
Because again, if I've been in a relationship with a 10%er for X amount of years, and somebody finally gives me 50%, that's 5 times better. It's still not what I'm giving this person. Right. I'm pouring 100%, but I'm getting 5 times better than what I was. Is that okay?
No.
I know it's not. I know that's the answer, but I think
it's not okay.
People aren't hearing with it, man. Listen.
So I teach my girls, my super chicks.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No worries. I teach my super chicks boundaries. You have to figure out if this person can match your percentage. If this person is giving you 50% or 10%, 40%, then, okay, let me set up some boundaries. I'm not going to text this person every day. I'm not going to call this person every day. I'm not going to like every post. I'm not going to beg this person to spend time with me. I'm not going to beg this person to spend time with me. I'm
not going to put in more than you're going to put in.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Because if you're in a relationship at that point, you can get trapped, man. You can get trapped because you're giving all your love, all your attention, all your affection. And then that person might not even know that you're even giving that much because they're only giving half and they're giving the other half to somebody else.
Yeah.
Now you're cheated on as you're giving 100%. We talked about cheating earlier, right? I've been giving you 50%. I thought you was fine with 50%. You've been chilling. Why are you so upset?
And so you're giving me this 50%, but I'm getting all the love.
You're getting 100%. Yeah.
So it's like, why should I strive to reach your 100%?
Right.
You know. So it's important to find someone that can match your 100% with your 100%, because
if you're fine with receiving 50% and I don't have to do nothing to work better than that, then I give 50% to somebody else and they fine with it too, then I'm cheating and I'm giving 50% and I'm living my life. That's called cheating, guys.
So it's important for yourself to develop boundaries for yourself and the relationship, because if you want someone to be there for you when you cry, or a shoulder to lean on, someone to be there that you can count on, that's committed, you know, then look for someone to do that. And on the flip side of that, if you are not that person that you know that you can't commit to somebody, like you can't.
Don't fake it, bro.
Stop. Because
you're hurting somebody, really.
Yes, you're hurting somebody and you're hurting yourself. Yeah. And that's not fair. That's not right. That's what people that comes into my office and sit on my couch and say, hey, Danielle, this person hurt me. And that's wrong. Like, stop.
That's how you get your windows busted out your car, man.
There you go. That's where them songs come from.
Man, you seen people, like, girls be setting it. How angry do you have to be to go set a man's car on fire? Think about that. Like, it's cheating. It's having intercourse with another person. That's all it is. But they have been putting so much into you, and you don't care. How dare you treat me as a human being like you don't care about my love? Like, what do you? Oh, you got to hurt. You got to hurt bad.
Yeah.
Hurt bad. Like, not even like, I mean, burning a car. You realize how many things have to happen after that? The consequences of getting my car burned up. Now I can't get to work on time, which means I can't afford to pay for my car to get fixed. If it's fixable, insurance doesn't cover girlfriends. I don't know. I don't know what to do, man. And then, fellas, why even start to put yourself in a situation like that? Why even start to begin to think that this girl's not that crazy? No, man. Listen, a woman loves you.
Just let a woman will love you until she can't love you no more.
You don't want that.
And once a woman stops loving you,
when a woman's fed up,
when a woman is done,
I can't sing the songs. I don't like R.
It's
Kelly
done.
anymore.
Like,
sorry,
it's done. When a woman is fed up, it's done. You can try the world to get this woman back, and you won't, because when a woman is fed up and done, it's a wrap.
And you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Right. And the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Most time the grass is brown on the other side. I'm just here to let you know. Especially if you take time to water your grass. Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah, that was heavy. I know. Deal with it.
So how can a man take the time to water the grass that he has already sowed seeds?
Oh, yeah.
He's fertilized.
Get into it. Let's talk about it.
Mowed the lawn.
Kept it trimmed.
Wow. He kept it trimmed, manicured.
And then he looking across the fence. Why? Okay.
You spent all that time.
You spent all that. And
energy and money.
You bought equipment.
Yeah.
You done, man, okay. You done showed your neighbors, look at my yard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So how can we encourage men in relationships to keep watering their yard, sowing seeds into their relationship? How can we encourage them to keep that? Because some marriages, keep that same energy. Because some marriages,
oh man,
it can get
I think if it's a cross, it has to be a cross between being willing to love your spouse or significant other and receiving love. So if I'm using the analogy watering your grass, if I'm showing you that I love you, if you feel loved, my grass is going to grow brighter and greener and more beautiful the more I put into it. So the grass might be green on the other side because I'm not watering my grass. I talked about this earlier on that sword and shield thing. If I'm not polishing my shield and sharpening my sword.
Explain your shield and sword for those who missed it in the previous episode.
So
explain your shield.
You can look at a relationship you know, you get into with somebody else, with significant other, as a sword and a shield. I like to view it as the sword being the thing that everybody can see, you know, the job, their physical attributes, their ethnicity, what they can do for you. And that's the sword that everybody sees. It's the thing that most people judge their admiration of, is on that sword. But the shield is the things that are internal, your heart, your spirituality, your security in yourself. I didn't even think about that, but like your shield is inside of you. It's like what makes me comfortable to be me around my family, around my spouse, around whoever. If I'm me, this is my shield. This is my heart, my spirituality, my walk with God. And so if you are constantly picking up other swords and shields, you'll never get good with one. It's like if to bring it back down to this yard thing, if I had to water 100 fields, which one's going to grow? I had to water 5 fields. Let me keep it simple.
2 fields.
2 or 3 fields. I gotta maintain 2 or 3 fields. It means I gotta water them, keep them trimmed, keep them going to the hair salon so their hair is done right, keep them their nails right, bottom both flowers, because I'm trying to show them both I love them or whatever I'm trying to show. I'm not gonna really have a beautiful garden. I'm gonna have 2 okay gardens.
Right. And
it's like if I can just stick with one, I won't have to look across the field to see another yard. I just take care of the one I got. Take care of the one you got, man. I don't understand why that's so hard to do. And I think when you take care of the one you got the way you should be, the results are gonna. We talk about gardens because it's gonna grow fruit. It's gonna prosper. It's gonna produce offspring. Hello, am I talking to anybody today? I don't know, man.
It's gonna produce legacy.
Legacy. That's everything.
Legacy.
That's everything.
And a healthy legacy. And I think for us as married couples, we want to produce a healthy, love-filled legacy.
Yeah.
Because that is, my grandma always used to say, you know, your character is the most important thing you will take with you wherever you go, is your character. So it's like, look inside yourself and ask yourself, what is my character? How do I want the world to see me? How do I see myself? Because a lot of times that we make up things in our mind that's not true.
Yeah. And we're really good at it too.
And we feed into that so much so that it changes who we are. It changes who we want to be. So it's important to find out who you want to be, not what somebody told you should be, not what the church said you can be, not what your religion says you can be,
mom and daddy,
what God, not your parents, what God says you should be, who you believe in said you should be. Right. You know, because a lot of times we get so caught up in other people looking at us and the me mentality of the society that we forget who we are. And I think that's the greatest thing that we can do for ourselves outside of a relationship. We can do for ourselves is just figure out who we are and don't be afraid to show that light.
Yeah. I didn't realize we
Thank you so much.
I'm already prepping for part 3 because we were supposed to talk about the Adam and Eve thing that we read about.
We're gonna have another part 3.
It's gonna
so
happen.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for coming. I appreciate the comments.
I appreciate the comments. Cal and
reading like Trump. Sorry.
Cal and on YouTube we have GQ4
that's
Show
Logan.
1.
I know that's
so
that's
thank
my
you
brother.
So much, everyone.
Thank everybody that's watching live on YouTube. I see y'all. Appreciate y'all as well.
Wish you all the best and stay safe. You know, take care of your garden, and we wish you the best.
You got to tell them about you got to get your outro.
Remember,
there you go.
You are worth more than pearls.
Peace out, y'all. We got to end the one on